Cape Media Center, building community through media.
The Birds of Cape Wildlife Center is part of the New England Wildlife Centers, and we're a lot of things to a lot of people. But at our core, we are a nonprofit wildlife veterinary hospital. So each year we take in about 5,000 sick or injured or orphaned wild animals. We give them treatment with the goal of returning them to the wild. And in the process, we bring the community in. And we use each of those exams, each of those treatments as a teaching tool to teach our local community and vet students and vet tech students and undergrads and high school students about the biology, the process of veterinary medicine, so that they can go out into the world and become better environmental stewards. So this property used to be a wildlife center run by the Humane Society of the United States. Unfortunately, they ran into some funding issues. They were going to close the program down. There was a big movement when the news broke that it was going to close. People got involved. They knew how critical and important this resource was, not just to animals, but from the public health side and the people. And so everybody kind of came together as a team to try to keep it open. We evolved over the first year. Our goal was to do 600 patients. I think we did 2,000. And so after about a year of running like that, we realized New England Wildlife Center was the natural fit to take over. So we're a small nonprofit. It was a big risk, but we knew how important it was. And so we've been here, oh man, it makes me feel old, but I think we're going on our 9th season operating here and couldn't be happier. We tend to see what you see. So the most common animals you see in your backyard are going to be the most common animals we see here. So this year, a ton of rabbits, a lot of squirrels, but then we see the oddball stuff too. So we have this time of year a lot of hawks, a lot of owls, we see fox, we see coyote. We're actually the only veterinary resource in Massachusetts that treats all native species that we're permitted to treat, not just on the Cape, but throughout all Massachusetts. We're the ones that do a lot of coyote care, fox care, fishers, otters, you name it. If it needs help in Massachusetts and we're allowed to treat it, we'll do our best to help.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. The mission of the center is to help as many wild, orphaned, injured wildlife as possible, but use those as a platform to teach the public about environmental conservation and advocacy, because we can help so many animals by just sharing their stories and teaching people what is the correct way to interact with wildlife. Human-wildlife interaction and conflict is something we deal with on a daily basis. And so by sharing all of our patients' stories, we can really get the word out of how we can live peacefully and cooperatively with wildlife. I actually was an intern more than 20 years ago as an undergrad, and I did it as a summer internship project, and I didn't even know this field existed and that there was actually veterinary care for wildlife. And I fell in love with the field because in veterinary medicine, it's a little bit difficult because your patients can't talk to you, but they at least have owners to tell you what's going on. In wildlife, we have no history, no background. Maybe someone saw the animal get hit by a car or something like that, but we really just have to go off of what we're seeing when the animal comes in. Injured and orphaned wildlife don't have a lot of resources out there. So I'm really proud that we are one of the major resources in the state as a veterinary hospital, and we can provide all their veterinary care from initial triage, diagnostics such as x-ray, blood work, even surgery, and do the best we can to get these guys back recovered and be able to be released back to the wild.
Most of our patients come to us because they've ended up on the wrong side of humans in one way or another. And so centers like this are so critical because they sort of help reverse some of that damage. Meaning we can take those animals, hopefully get them healthy and release them. But in the process, we also get good information and we can highlight what's going on. And so as humans, if we can change our behavior, if we can change the way we develop, if we can, keep the cats inside, if we can drive a little safer, then that's a win. And so that's a huge piece of it. We help a lot of animals within this building, but telling their stories helps the community at large. And I think that's why this type of organization is so critical. So we are a nonprofit, totally community funded. We don't really get any state or federal money to do what we do. So donations are probably the biggest way, especially this year, to help us. But then we also always need things off our wish list. We also use volunteers from the community. We also do a lot of advocating in the community for legislative efforts. So any of those things are helpful to us, and we love, meeting local folks. So if you found an injured animal, you want to get involved, you just have questions about what's going on in your own backyard, and you think we can help, you can call our front desk at 508-362-0111, or you can find us on the web at capewildlifecenter.com.
We help between our two hospitals about 5,000 orphan, injured, and sick wild animals every year. But that's a drop in the bucket to the actual number of wildlife that need our help. We are fortunate enough that we do have our two hospitals spread along the South Shore in Massachusetts, but I know that there's so many more wild animals out there that could really use our help. But I'm so grateful to be able to do this as a living. Being a nonprofit is not an easy task. Fundraising, getting in staff, things like that, training our staff. It's difficult year to year. We're so grateful for our community support and participation to allow us to keep doing this every year. And each year we can treat more species, we can treat greater disasters, things like that, to be able to just keep making a difference to the environment.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.
Kim Phillips is busy setting up shop for her latest cooking demonstration, which in the year of 2025 probably feels like just one more in an endless series of cooking demos. Not that she's complaining, because at the outset of the year, at best, all of what we see now was nothing more than just a few ideas written on a notepad. After completing production courses as a member at the Cape Media Center, Phillips had designs on doing a cooking show. The only thing missing? The venue. Enter the Dennis Center for Active Living, or DCAL as the locals call it. It was here that Phillips pitched her concept to Brenda Vasquez, the center's director.
I went to Brenda and said, look, this is what I want to do. I had like a kind of a project sheet and I showed it to her and she just was like, wow. And she says, I'm writing a grant about nutritional eating and educating the public and community, having people be social. And my program just fit right into that like a glove.
That grant provided not only a place for Phillips to showcase her skills, but also gave her a food budget so she could bring her tasty recipes to life. Suddenly, what was supposed to be a cooking show now became the Real Food Tales Roadshow with an active audience. To some extent, it almost felt like Kim's test kitchen.
It turned into my test kitchen, sort of. I'd call it more of my recipe testers. And the people that came, they just loved what I was making and the fact that it didn't have sugar or ultra-processed foods. And they were really excited about what I was presenting and that it's delicious. And what? No sugar? Wow! And all of these reactions encouraged me to do more.
When we dropped by, Phillips was putting together a carrot cake, which, according to certain polls, is the third most popular cake in the world. While she assembled the cake in her own unique fashion, whether it was soaking the dates in coffee or toasting the coconut flakes in this little oven, she also omitted certain ingredients. When she goes into teaching mode for her attendees, she explains why.
I use different ingredients instead of white refined sugar. I'll use maple syrup, which gives you less of a glycemic spike with your blood sugar and better for your health. So I explain all those tips about each recipe, and people ask questions, and everyone's interactive. It turned into this interactive discussion about nutrition and food, which I love. It was more than I ever expected, and the reception was just so overwhelmingly, people love everything I make. They love what I'm doing. They love my approach and what I'm offering.
Delicious.
And they come back.
And they seem poised to keep coming back. One change moving forward with this program, however, will be the dates and times for them to show up. When she first started in May of 25, it was an every Friday morning event. Now with her sights set on writing a cookbook, it's become more of a select dates only affair. But the location will always be the same. the Decal Cafe, which just happens to be the first room people see when they enter the building. And when they leave the building, Kim Phillips hopes it's with more than just a little extra food in their bellies.
I want them to go home and try my recipes and eat less sugar and less ultra-processed foods. That's my goal in life. So I preach to people, yes, and I just kind of explain how they can do that, how I did that, how it improved my life, and how any recipe can be delicious without sugar and ultra-processed foods. And that's what I proved here.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.
Here's an easy set of directions to follow. It's right at the Rotary on Route 28 in Chatham. The "it" in question is the Shop Ahoy liquor store, and its sign looks a bit like the helm of the SS Minnow, steering all passers-by to the parking lot to stop in.
Well, the sign is a historical artifact in the town of Chatham. It's protected by the Historical Society. I think it goes back to the 50s, not 100% certain, but it's definitely a nice landmark to have in front of the shop.
Norris purchased the business in 2006 and has recently added another standout element to his operation here at 1589 Main Street, a farmer's market, which in the off-season seems like a perfect fit for vendors to set up in the sections of the store that may not be carrying as much stock as they would have during the summer months.
The woman that runs it, her name is Kathy Sanders, and she's been a customer of mine forever. When the market ends outside, she has a business in Puerto Rico, so she leaves for the winter. And we were saying our goodbyes, and for some reason, I just said to her, well, where do they go in the winter? And the discussion started, and I went down to the market, met a few of the vendors, and we kind of figured out what would work, and here we are.
And as cliche as it may sound, it really is a win-win for everyone involved. Shop Ahoy will see an uptick in customers while the market is here, and the vendors get to add one more location where they can sell their goods. Also, it's a pretty unique combination of worlds colliding here. It's not every day that people can just walk into the liquor store, grab a bottle of wine, and pick up some locally sourced produce. It's not every day here either, but since mid-October of 2025, between the hours of 2 and 5 on Tuesdays, this has been the place to be to do just that. During our visit, there were 6 vendors on hand, with everything from natural dog treats and food to local beers, local fish, and meats and cheeses. But there was one vendor who seemed to bring an entourage with him, his fresh vegetables. Occupying the back corner of the left side of the store, Mike Roscoe from Sepuit Farms in Osterville has unloaded and displayed an assortment of organic vegetables whose colors make people's eyes light up when they see them and whose bouquet draws them in like a siren song. It turns out that the fresh scent tickling people's olfactory senses isn't just happenstance.
It brings a lot of joy to me to see people get excited about the food that we grow. This food behind me was harvested yesterday. It was literally in the ground yesterday. So it still holds pretty much all of its nutritional value as if it was in the ground.
Fresh and locally sourced are more than just buzzwords and catchphrases, especially for the people who know what they're looking for. The folks at the Farmhouse Meats out of Pembroke have been involved in the outdoor farmers market in Chatham for several years, making them a known quantity here as they move indoors.
It's great. Like, people tell us the recipes and different things, how they entertain with certain people during the summer, or during the winter they do like roasts and things like that. It's nice to see people come back and tell us how good our product has been for them. And yeah, it makes us feel good. And also the cheese farms, you know, they work hard and they're small cheese farms. So we try to, you know, help them also, because they're too busy making cheese where they can't sell their product. So, you know, it's a good combination.
While farmers markets have enjoyed a spike in popularity since the turn of the 21st century, it may be easy to forget that these vendors are still competing with nationally known name brands and the vendors who supply the big supermarket chains. So it's safe to say they've got their work cut out for them. And that's what makes these venues so important.
We want our customers to feel welcome, to feel comfortable asking us questions. We love to educate people, share with them what we're growing, why we're growing it, the benefits it can provide them, and just to build a relationship with those folks so that they can trust the farm and what we're doing and feel comfortable with that.
And it's one more reason for Josh Norris to feel no regrets about making the move from the big city to this little Cape Cod fishing village all those years ago.
There's no place I'd rather be. Chatham is just an incredible town. The people, the beaches, even the tourists, there's always something going on, and it's a really positive place to be.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.
I am Nate from Cape Cod Magnet Crew. We've been doing this magnet fishing thing now probably a couple of years. Started out because my kids and I were trying to find something to get out. You know, this was right around the end of COVID, and everybody was stuck in their houses, and we're like, what can we do? And my kids have watched a whole bunch of magnet fishing online, and we're like, let's buy a couple magnets. We bought a couple cheap ones. We pulled out some like hooks and some nails. And we're like, this is awesome, but we want more than hooks and nails. So went home, ordered a bigger magnet, and our very first time out, we were at Cove Road in Dennis, and we found a safe. It was actually our very first video that I filmed, so it was really, really cool, but it was empty. There was nothing in it. Still a cool find. So magnet fishing, it's not like a regular fridge magnet. It's not actually going to do anything for you. You throw it in the water, it's just going to float away because it's really, really light. Magnet fishing is when you use this neodymium. It's this rare earth. It's kind of in a powder until you turn it into a magnet. But you can get them from a couple hundred pull magnet all the way up to 6,000 pounds. That scares me. 6,000 pounds. Mine's 3,500, and I already pull up enough heavy stuff. It's not only good for, finding fun stuff, but a big part of the reason why we do it and the reason why we chose Cape Cod Magnet Crew is we're here. I mean, we grew up around water, and it's kind of become a conservation thing for us. You know what I mean? Metal shouldn't be out here. Sure, stuff happens, there's accidents, but a safe doesn't get in the water by accident. Someone threw that in there, you know what I mean? So there's a ton of different things that are floating around the river. I find tons of batteries. Those things leach all sorts of toxic chemicals into the water. And as you saw a moment ago, we had a seal here. Seals don't need to be playing around with batteries. So I want to get them up. I am not a very big people-y person. This hobby has not really forced me, but it's given me an opportunity to meet people that are like-minded and actually connect with people, which is not something that me as a very introverted type of person had done before. So I've got friends from England, I've got friends from Germany, all over this country. It's amazing what YouTube and the magnet fishing community can do, because it takes this big, huge world and makes it like this. You know, we talk about the Cape and it being a small town, but as soon as you go online, as soon as you're on the internet, YouTube, whatever, you've taken that world and you've made it into a small town. That's really why I like it. It's kind of forced me to come out of my shell, but also, again, still be creative, still clean up, still do that stuff that really, really matters here locally on a micro level. So, I mean, everybody wishes that they could do their dream, you know, and that's kind of this has become my dream, is to stick with magnet fishing, and who knows, maybe bring it into retirement and keep doing it because it's fun and it's awesome.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.
I'm Jen Pina, producing artistic director here at Cape Cod Theatre Company Harwich Junior Theatre. Cape Cod Theatre Company Harwich Junior Theatre is a multi-generational, educational community theatre in our 74th season. We were founded by Betty Bope. She was an educator here and in Boston, and she founded what was then the Harwich Junior Theatre at the Exchange Hall in Harwich Center in 1952 with their first show, Cinderella. It grew from there, from the Harwich Junior Theatre, which was mostly producing shows during the summer and for young audiences and families, to where we are now, which is multi-generational theater with shows for audiences of all ages, with up to 10 fully produced shows happening year-round every year, multiple partnerships with other local artists and performers, so we have special events throughout the year and a really robust education program. So we have classes year-round through 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall sessions from ages 4 through adult. We have camps while school is on break during school vacations and summer vacation. We have classes from creative drama through Broadway Kids, through singing for the stage, creative drama on the spectrum, scene study for adults. It just goes on and on and on. I saw my first play here when I was 5. It was Emil and the Detectives. And my older brother, Joel, was in the play, and I was on the edge of my seat. The theater went dark, and there was this sort of warm glow, and we were a family that read a lot of books, so for me, storytelling was just a part of the magical part of the day, and to see this story come to life and have my brother be in it, I thought, I want to do that. And then through the years, I've played a number of different roles here, in plays, but also had multiple jobs here. So I've done everything from children's theater to junior players, our teen ensemble program, both being in it and teaching it, to Shakespeare and some of the classics, to experimental theater, and I've been an actor, a director, choreographer. I've been an usher and a house manager. I've done really almost every job, and now producing artistic director as well. I'm so fortunate to work with the folks that I do here. We have a very small, incredibly talented, hardworking, and dedicated full-time staff. And then we have this huge team of contractors who are either teaching artists or production team members that really reach out into the whole community. We're just so fortunate. And then beyond that, volunteers, a volunteer board, volunteer front of house folks, people who do all sorts of things for us, and then our business partners and sponsors too. So in that way too, we really are a community theater. For more information about volunteering, taking a class, auditioning for a show, coming to see a show, anything else you want, you can walk in the door. I would say my door is always open, but there's not even a door on my office. So come on in and say hello. And you can look at our website, capecodtheatrecompany.org. We are a true community theater, so we're multi-generational in every way you can think of. We've been around for multiple generations. We have multiple generations who are on the staff, on the board, in our classes, in a play at any given time. Multiple generations come to see our shows. We've got grandparents, parents, grandkids all together. And we could not do it without volunteers. We're here for that purpose. We're here as a community organization, a community theater, and the community part's really important.
We started yesterday morning about 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and we're ending up on Sunday about late morning. We'll be packing up. We're taking donations for 3 different organizations. One is for the Toys for Tots program, Marines Toys for Tots, and then we're taking either cash or toys unwrapped. We're taking clothes for Caitlin's Closet. It's an organization for children that need clothes, that not otherwise able to get them on their own through situations. Taking cash for that or clothes, and then we're also taking food donations, non-perishable food for the Yarmouth Food Pantry, either cash or food for them. We tend to be here 8 in the morning till about 8 at night, so feel free to come by anytime and hang out with us, feel homeless like we do, and donate. The Cape does have a lot of people under hard times right now. Financial difficulties, and they may just need a little bit of assistance. They may not be totally homeless, but they're just looking for assistance, and we want to try to make their Christmas better for them.
We're all volunteers. Bunch of new guys, you got to actually remember their names now, but we have Captain Morley with his dog who comes to help out a lot, Stefan Napolitan, Cole DiFrancesco, Bob Crosby, and Cassidy, who's testing all the donut holes we have today, and Jacob Sullivan. We have the wood burning barrel here, we like to call it, that somebody created for us years ago and to keep us warm, but the wood was donated. Pile over here was from Cape Cod Firewood, and they were nice enough to donate that and some very cold-resistant sleeping bags. And the wood over here was donated by S&J Excavation over in Dennis. We do get a lot of donations from big corporations around that want to help out also. People go by, they see us, and they come in the next day or later in the day and say, I saw you, I remember this happens this time of year. Seeing you got us to go down the store and get a bag of groceries or go to the job lot, get some clothes or some toys for the kids.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.
Hey, I'm Kayla. I was an intern at Cape Media Center back in 2019, and that experience totally launched my career in media.
And I'm Destiny. I was right there with Kayla in 2019, learning everything from camera work to editing and loving every second of it.
The staff here at Cape Media Center were always hands-on and always willing to answer our questions, especially with our final project.
We created a series of videos called the Blue Economy Project, where we dove deeper into how the ocean plays a vital role in Cape Cod's economy.
The series was well approved, and we couldn't have done it without the Cape Media Center.
Fast forward to now, I'm working in live music production and have even worked at venues such as Gillette Stadium and Fenway Park.
And I actually came full circle. I'm back at the Cape Media Center, this time on staff.
Cape Media Center gave us the tools, the confidence, and the real-world experience to chase our creative goals.
It's more than just a media center, it's a launch pad for your future.
Start your story at Cape Media Center in Dennisport.
Cape Media Center,
your voice,
your vision, your community.
Cape Media Center, building community through media.